American South, he's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe!
Hello everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. Today was the February G.I. Joe fan stream, and there was some stuff to talk about. Not a lot, because we saw most of it coming, but there was some stuff to talk about. But before we talk about that, please, if you're new here, think about subscribing to the channel, especially if you like this content, especially if you like G.I. Joe Classified. There's going to be a lot of that being covered this year. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, go ahead and give the video a like, because every little thumbs up helps get the video into the algorithm, helps widen the audience base. You've all been helping me up so much these past few months, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, please think about joining me on Coffee, on that side, where we have exclusive content, plus you get early access and a bunch of other member bonuses, all for $1 a month. Now, on with the show. Oh, and one other thing. Don't forget that tomorrow, Friday, time of recording, the second part of Ralph World, Rise, Fall, and Death of the DCEU podcast will go up on Spotify. Link to that below, where me and Uncle Britt finish our discussion on what we think happened and our feelings towards the DCEU. Now, on with G.I. Joe. There were a few new things that they discussed. They had some name-only reveals and they had some digital renders. And to be completely honest, the thing I was the most excited about, other than the stuff that went up for pre-order today, was the S.A.W. That was a name-only reveal. I loved this guy growing up. He came in towards the wave that was kind of at the tail end of when I stopped collecting the first time, when I was a kid. And I just remember he was like one of the last figures that I picked up. He was very important. S.A.W. was very important in the comic for the Cobra Civil War. And I really, really liked the look of this figure. I liked the feel of this figure. I just liked the whole aura, the whole attitude around this figure. And even though I had said I was pretty much done with army building Cobra Vipers, because really I'm more into army building the troopers and I'll put them around, but the S.A.W, I might get a few of the S.A.W. Now, this image obviously is an older image. This was a name-only reveal, but we have that look forward to, and I'm actually really excited about that one coming down the pipeline. The other one that was a name-only reveal was another communications officer, Dial Tone, who was our second communications officer after Breaker. Breaker, of course, we got with the Ram. Now, once again, name-only reveal, no digital renders, no looks at him, no nothing. But Lenny had kind of mentioned that there was going to be like a lot of bits and bobs, a lot of kibble with this one. So I don't know if he was alluding to that this might be a deluxe figure. I could see Dial Tone maybe getting the deluxe treatment, kind of like how Tripwire did. That'll be interesting to see. He did have a much bigger rig than Breaker had, and they might, who knows, they might set him up with like some kind of like satellite communication system or something, mobile communication system, something like that. That would be kind of cool. But he'll be coming down the line as well. Once again, name-only reveal. That takes us into the digital renders. And the digital renders, all but one of the four that they showed off were retro cardback figures. And I don't really have a problem with these ones. Sometimes repaints are kind of like, really? But these three make sense. I think you'll know why, and I think you'll agree when we take a look at them, that the first digital render they revealed was Retro Beachhead. And I think this one is an easy pill to swallow, because the last time we had a Beachhead, he was a Cobra Island exclusive back in the dark days of Classified. Not everybody was able to get his hands on Beachhead, plus there were two Beachheads, so if you were like kind of trying to be a completionist, there was like a chase variant. I don't know, one had brown eyes, one had blue eyes. I think that was the difference. I didn't really pay attention to it. I got one. That was really all I cared about. But I think there were a lot of people that missed out on Beachhead. So I think this is a really good add to the retro cardback line. Because if you think about it, one way or another, they've kind of been hitting all of those Cobra Island exclusives and going ahead and trying to re-release them. Like with the Vipers, they released that Viper 3-pack that we were able to get. So if you missed out on the Cobra Island Viper, there was still a chance to get them. If you missed out on like the Cobra Trooper, they released the Cobra Infantry, and then later they had the Cobra Officers to take their place. Now Beachhead, the only one I think that they haven't done. Oh, and then there was Baroness with the coil. That was a Cobra Island exclusive as well. And then they released Baroness on the card back. So now Beachhead is another one that I feel like the only one they haven't revisited yet is Major Blood. And I'll be real interested to see if and when they do a retro card back of Major Blood, if he keeps the cyborg arm that the Cobra Island exclusive has, or if they're going to go back to like that big armored arm that the retro carded figure had. That's really the only thing I think that would make me get another Major Blood, because I have the original, is if they change up that arm. But Beachhead, I think, is a really good add. A lot of classic paint job here. The green is a different shading. He has that camo going on. The green goes down through his pants instead of having like the brown and armor on his legs. The next retro card figure that we have is the Cobra Eels. And I know this is a sticking point for a lot of fans because there was a lot of not being able to get your hands on the Amazon exclusive. As a matter of fact, during the live stream, they had kind of made the mention of they will be able to do higher quantities of this one than an exclusive release. We're listening. So I think they were kind of throwing shade at Amazon for not ordering more of these when people were needing them. I don't know. I don't know how the exclusives work. If Hasbro was able to say, hey, you've sold this many, why don't you get more? Or if it's more a sense of Amazon just didn't care, just didn't order more. But if you look at this, remember when I was doing my review of the eel, card and link, remember when I was doing my review of the eel, I questioned how much of a difference there was going to be between the Amazon exclusive and the retro card back. And looking at this, I don't think there is much difference. Like there's a little bit of difference in like the lariat, the strap for the harpoon gun, but the knife still has like the red handle to it. The helmet looks the same. Like it looks like it's the same pack. It looks like it's the same figure, that like they just changed like one or two paint apps. But other than that, it's basically the same one. So like if you had one Amazon eel and you got some of these, they would blend very well if you're trying to army build. Or if you missed out on the Amazon one, there's really no difference between this one and the Amazon. I don't think there's much of a difference between them. And I think that's a very smart move, that basically this is a re-release of that exclusive figure, just with different packaging and like maybe a different paint app here or there. I think that's a really good touch on Hasbro's part. I think a lot of fans are going to appreciate that. Once again, even though this is a repaint, I feel like this is a repaint of a figure that was kind of a sore spot and is giving fans a chance to get their hands on it. The other one, the last retro carded figure, is the retro carded Snow Serpent. And the paint job on this is very different from the deluxe Snow Serpent that we had, which isn't a problem, because you can take those deluxe Snow Serpents with the wolves' heads and with all the gear and all of the armor and everything and just say, like, these are our officers or these are our specialists. And these are your standard troop building Snow Serpents. Once again, they are much cheaper than the deluxe ones. So, like, if people went out and bought, like, one or two of the deluxe Snow Serpents, but they wanted to army build Snow Serpents, but it was too expensive, this is your chance. Once again, I think this is a really good idea. I think this is a good use of a repaint, and it's a very different color from the deluxe one. Also, you can see that there's a big difference in the weapons, that like it is basic like army builder weapons. I honestly don't have the image up in front of me right now of the Snow Serpent, but I think his rifle is a bullpup right there. So that's kind of cool. The original Snow Serpent, I think, had the big bazooka or the rocket launcher. I think, in the vintage line. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't include it with this one. But once again, I think this is a good use of a repaint. And if you don't want it, don't buy it. The final digital render they had was one that we knew was coming. It is the Ferret with the Ferret Scout. And the Ferret is cool. The Scout is cool as well. I really like that like motocross helmet that she has right there. They did her in gray, in a gray uniform, and they said it's a new female figure, gray matching Cobra drivers. So so this is our first hint at the Stinger during this live stream, because they made a couple of hints towards the Cobra Stinger, and we'll get to the other one later. But they definitely said, you know, it's a gray matching uniform, matching other Cobra drivers. So there you go. That's like basically the female version of the Stinger pilot. Or the Stinger driver. What I'm going to be really interested in seeing is, with the way her uniform is set up, if the Stinger operator's uniform is going to be similar, and if that helmet is going to be big enough that you could swap the helmet between the female and the male figures. I'm going to guess no, but I think that would be cool if the helmet could be swapped between the male and female, and then you could swap like the standard Cobra helmet between the male and female. So like you could choose like who's going to be on the Stinger, who's going to be on the Ferret once it comes out, things like that. I always like being able to like mix things up, have a little bit of options like that. I think that would be really cool. The other thing I'm wondering is, now that we have the Ferret, and we know back in the day the vintage line had the, I think it was called the Tiger Claw, or the Tiger Paw. It was basically the Ferret painted up in Tiger Force colors. I wonder if they're actually going to do that, because we've already had the Tiger Force Ram, and the Ram didn't exist, I don't think, in the original vintage Tiger Force line. So now that we already have the Ram, I wonder if they'll go ahead and do the Ferret. I mean, it's money on the table. I don't doubt that they're going to, but I'm also curious, if they did the Ferret, how many people would buy it since the Ram is out there already? Me, personally, I might be checked out on Tiger Force at this point. I'm much more into like Python Patrol, because I always loved that. And if you've been paying attention to the channel or Instagram at any point in these past few months, you know I am really into Night Force right now. But I think I may be checked out on Tiger Force at this point. And that segues into the Tiger Force 2-pack, Roadblock and Tripwire. This is the first pre-order that we are going to take a look at. We knew this was coming. We saw the digital render. They talked about it. It's actually a pretty decent priced piece, that for the two figures plus McCloud, so you get like the little defusal bot, it is, give me 1 second, let me look it up. I don't have it up right now. Okay, for the classified Tiger Force 2-pack with Roadblock and Tripwire and McCloud, so basically a 2.5-pack, you're looking at $54.99, which is the standard price, I think, for a 2-pack. But I think that's pretty good for the two figures. Tripwire, I don't think there's going to be much of a rush for Tripwire, because we've already had Tripwire in the deluxe packaging, in the deluxe form. I really feel like the heavy lifter of this 2-pack is going to be Roadblock, because once again, this version of Roadblock, basically the reuse of the heavy artillery Roadblock, was an Amazon exclusive. Maybe not everybody was able to get their hands on him, so now you basically have that same Roadblock here, just with some tiger striping on his pants, yellow helmet, but most importantly, Ma Deuce. And I actually thought about getting this 2-pack just for Ma Deuce, the backpack, and the ammo belt, and the tripod, and everything. Basically just all of Roadblock's kit, the way that it should have been for the heavy artillery. In the live stream, they even mentioned this is the first time they're releasing Roadblock with Ma Deuce. I don't know if that's going to happen, though, because truthfully, other than Ma Deuce, there's really nothing I want from this 2-pack, because I have everything else except for the M2. But, like I said, I can see some people wanting to get this, and Tiger Force doesn't really look that egregious on Roadblock. Like I said, there's basically just some tiger striping on his pants. As a matter of fact, I think I've mentioned before that in the vintage line, I had missed the original Roadblock, and I didn't get Roadblock until the Tiger Force version came out. Maybe I just talked myself into getting it for nostalgia's sake. But in all seriousness, there were limited quantities of this available on Hasbro Pulse. There must have been like 5 because it was sold out by 1:15. Oh yeah, by the way, all of the pre-orders went up for pre-order at 1 o'clock today, February 29th, Thursday, time of recording. So depending on when you've been watching this, they've been up for the better part of a day. Good luck. But the 2-pack is sold out on Hasbro Pulse. However, it is available at Target because as of course we know, Tiger Force is a Target exclusive. Target, time of recording, still had plenty of these to take a look at. Now, the next one that we're going to look at is, and this one is really cool, Doc. And we all got excited about Doc. I'm really glad that they just got him out there fast for us to get our hands on. He looks great. He looks like the vest that he's wearing is completely modular, just like we saw with the 60th anniversary, soldier, that his vest is modular, that you can mix and match and arrange and everything. It looks like with Doc's vest, you have that same ability. He has his flare gun. The other piece that he has is a taser. Yes, my viewer did tell me that it was a taser, so thank you for that, and you were 100% right. So he comes with the flare gun, he comes with the taser, he comes with his stretcher, and they even showed it like folding up, and it looks really cool attached to his back. I wasn't sure how that was going to look, but it does look pretty cool attached to his back. The straps that go around the stretcher, though, I think the straps are just there for decoration. I don't think they actually come apart and go around the figure. I think you just lay the figure on top of the stretcher, but that's fine, whatever. I think Doc looks great. This is another time where I feel like they've taken the vintage figure and sort of given him a bit of an update with all of the gear that he has on him. The stretcher being one that he can put on his back, because the original figure was basically just carrying around this big stretcher. I think he looks really good. I don't remember if the glasses come off. I don't think they addressed that or talked about that. I can't remember if the glasses come off. Let me see in the pictures. Give me one moment. Oh yeah, they come off. There's the picture. They do come off. I don't think they took them off in the live stream. Sorry, I was kind of watching the live stream and working at the same time. So I might have missed some stuff. But Doc looks great. I'm really excited about Doc. I know a lot of us were excited about Doc. Like, it's cool to have a medic on the team. It's even cooler that it's Doc. You know what I mean? So the next thing we're going to take a look at is 2 more Dreadnoks, Torch and Gnawgahyde. And to be completely honest, I'm not that excited about Gnawgahyde. He'll be one that I'll probably get eventually, but I definitely didn't bother pre-ordering him today. His animals look cool. He comes with the monkey. He comes with the wild boar. I kind of tuned out during this part of the live stream because as much as I love the banter between those two, they really started rambling today. And just like sort of like it got to a point where it seemed like they were talking back and forth amongst themselves rather than to us. So I kind of like zoned out at certain points of Gnawgahyde, but he is what he is, and like we've seen him before. We know there's a lot of reuse with his gear. We know there's some reuse with his body. I think the body is basically like a repaint of the original Gung-Ho that came out for the classified line. But the one I'm really excited about is Torch, the final original that we need. So he's definitely one that I put on the list. So we got Ripper, we got Buzzer, we got Zartan, we got Zarana, and now we're going to have Torch. We're going to have the original 3 Dreadnoks, and that is exciting. And the funny thing is that Lenny actually addressed the back of Torch's backpack where it says Nox and it's spelled wrong. He said that's supposed to be done on purpose because Torch can't spell, so he spelled Nox wrong. We'll wait and see if that holds up, because I feel like that joke doesn't really land well, because he can't spell, sure, but he would know how to spell Dreadnoks, I feel. Like, I think most of them have it tattooed on them somewhere. So we'll wait and see if that sticks, or if they maybe change it up at the time of release. I don't know. I get what he was trying to do, but I feel like that joke falls a little flat. They did show the flame effects, and there was no bend to them. They were very stiff. They were very solid. That, like, they still bent instead of broke, but they weren't real gummy that, like, if you try and pose him in a, you know, torching pose, I don't think you're going to have a problem with, like, the flame effect drooping. So that was very nice to see. I liked that. I appreciated that. Now, the last two that they have up, the last two figures that they had up for pre-order, were the ones that I was most excited about. First of all, we had Jinx. And I think, you know, I have been wanting Jinx since, like, Wave 2 of Classified. So, like, for years I've been saying, when are we getting Jinx? When are we getting Jinx? We have all these ninja. When are we getting Jinx? Why haven't we gotten Jinx? We got Nunchuck before we got Jinx. But now Jinx is coming out, and she looked fantastic. I have to say, I'm really excited about this one. This was definitely one that I put up for pre-order today myself as well. Need to get her. Hope she's the first one that gets released. Can't wait for her. The other one that was really exciting to me was the Night Creeper finally came out. Because if I've been wanting Jinx since Wave 2, I've been wanting the Night Creepers since Wave 3. As a matter of fact, those Red Ninja, those Crimson Ninja, or whatever you want to call them that came out, I needed to get those and pretend they were Night Creepers, because, like, the Red Ninja didn't, like, the Red Ninja to me from the comics were what the ARAH were originally. They were ninja and red gi, but it didn't look like those. Those were like a little too new, a little too high tech, and I think they had a Cobra logo on them instead of the ARAH. So I made those. The Night Creepers, I pretended those were the Night Creepers, but now that we actually have those coming out, I ordered 5 of them. Why 5? Because one has an off head sculpt, and I can use that for the officer. Now, one thing that they had said was, one of them said, well, now they need a leader, and Lenny looked at him and said, a Night Creeper leader, and I thought that's when they were going to draw attention to the second head sculpt, but they didn't. So I don't know if it's that they didn't have the second head with them and they were just referencing that, or if there's a character that they're going to be bringing out. As far as I knew, there weren't any named Night Creepers in the comic or in the line. Let me know if I'm wrong, because I know there were other versions of the Night Creepers after I stopped collecting, but I don't think there were really any named Night Creepers. And I don't know who else. I don't know much about Ninja Force, so I don't know if there was like somebody in the Ninja Force that was like the leader of the Night Creepers. I'd be really curious about that. If anybody knows, please drop me a comment down below, because now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if that was like a prelude to another character that's going to be coming out. And then that takes us into the final piece that they had for a reveal. But before we talk about that, because now we're talking about Hasbro Pulse exclusives, before we get to the end of the video, let me tell you that the Crimson Strike Pack, the 3-pack with the Crimson Twins and Baroness, is actually on sale at an outlet price on Hasbro Pulse. In case you didn't know already, it's up for sale. It's $62.91 at the outlet price right now. I'm kind of surprised about that. I really thought that Crimson Strike Pack was going to sell out. But there it is. It's up for sale. If you were holding out on it, if you thought the $90 price point was too expensive, now it's down almost $30. So there's another shot at getting it. As a matter of fact, now that it's down at a lower price, I may actually open mine up and do a review on it. Late, I know, but I might open that up and let people know about this thing being on sale, because right now, time of recording, they're still available on Hasbro Pulse. So if you still need one, check it out. And that takes us to the pre-order that they put up for sale today which is the MMS, or the SMS. MMS? No. The SMS, the Sentry Missile System, that is basically part of your HISS tank diorama. Now, they made it a point to say that, yes, this can be used with the HISS tank, especially with the paint job on the Techno-Viper, that he matches the HISS colors and the HISS fire team, but with the way that the legs fold down, it can be used to stand on its own. And I think that's really cool. I think it looks good. Now, the heat missiles on there, they said the heat missiles are like 9 inches long. So the heat missiles, one second. The heat missiles are like that long. And they said they cut that down from a foot, that originally they were going to be 1 foot long. So they're down to 9 inches. So there is some mass to this thing, which is kind of impressive. And they showed it hooking up to the HISS tank. And when they were hooking it up to the HISS tank, they showed the hook, the oval, the latch, whatever you want to call it, deploy and hook up. But they said that it has different settings so that, how did they phrase it? It can be towed behind the HISS tank, but it can stand on its own. And if you have other vehicles that could tow it, it can adjust for that. So there is a hint at 2 things, I think. There is another hint towards the Viper, and there is also a hint that they will turn the SMS into the MMS, and then it can be hauled behind the Vamp as well. So I don't doubt that those 2 repaints are going to happen. The question is, would you buy an MMS at this point? Because, like, buying repaints of figures is one thing. Buying the Vamp and then buying the Stinger is one thing. But basically the same thing, just painted green. Would you do that? I honestly don't know if I would do that, because truthfully, I didn't use the MMS that much when I was a kid. I did pre-order this just because I bought into the whole thing that I needed to complete my HISS tank diorama. I am 100% the target audience for something like this, and I am not sorry for it. So that went up for pre-order today, and that is, let me get to the page. I apologize for not having this ready. And that is $74.99, so $75 for that. Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I did pre-order that today as well. So we have $74.99 for the MMS and the Techno-Viper. We have $54.99 for the Tiger Force 2-pack, sold out on Pulse. Pick it up at Target. We have, oh, I forgot to mention, it's $44.99 for Gnawgahyde because it's figure and pet. And then pretty much all of the other figures that went up for pre-order today were $24.99, which is the standard price. Everything else other than the MMS and the Tiger Force 2-pack is available wherever fine toys are sold. Which means you can pick them up from our sponsor at the affiliate link below at Entertainment Earth. Link in the description and in the pinned comment. It would help the channel out. Gracias. But you can pick them up pretty much anywhere that G.I.Joe Classified is being sold. So that's what we have. Now, one thing that also that they added on at the end was that they had originally said there were going to be 8 pre-orders, and they had miscounted because they were thinking that the 2-pack counted as 2, but there was only 7 things to pre-order. So she was like, okay, here's a freebie for you. There's another one coming down the line, and it's the Frag-Viper. So technically, there is a 3rd name-only reveal. It's the Frag-Viper, and that may be the first one I skip, because I did not like the Frag-Viper even when I was a kid. Like, they're going to have to do something really fantastic to make me want to get this. Like, if you like the Frag-Viper, if people like the Frag-Viper, that's fine. I didn't think he was that popular. I didn't really... He was like, once again, towards the tail end of the line when I was collecting, and I never felt a need to pick this one up. Not like my S.A.W. though. So that is what came up on the live stream. Let me know in the comments below which ones you're excited about, which ones you're going to be picking up. I definitely ordered Torch. I definitely pre-ordered Jinx and the Night Creepers and the S.M.S. The other ones like Gnawgahyde, I may wait to see if there's like a sale on them. The Tiger Force 2-pack, I think I'm going to pass on, because as much as I want Ma Deuce, I feel like there will be other avenues that are cheaper than getting a 2-pack to get Ma Deuce. So Doc, I definitely want, but I didn't pre-order him today, but he's definitely on the want list. So, and like I said, that S.A.W. I cannot wait for the S.A.W. to come out. Let me know what you're pre-ordering. Let me know what you're excited about, whether it is the name-onlys, the digital renders. Comment down below. And as always, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.